Hello everyone, welcome to another Green Dragons Gaming. Without us, they couldn't feel like winners. Without them, we couldn't look so good. So again, we're based out of Westchester, Pennsylvania, and I still have to do my other Hogfest videos. I know that, and I want to do them before I forget too much about the games, because otherwise I will not get them done. But I just did an online game last night, so this is going to be a shorter battle report. And this is for the SmithF Invitational. This is game 4. And you can see down at the title. Basically, it's King of the Hill. And this time I get to play someone here in the United States. I'm really excited. I played him once before. As a matter of fact, it was a team tournament I played him. It was Pretty Boy, who actually does make Green Dragons look good. And I played Kenyon, and I don't remember who his partner was back then at a Buckeye tournament years ago. And I remember running in a single, all I had one left was one Knight of the Realm. I ran it in to his skink brick that had his general, priest, whatever, on a palanquin in the unit. And I won combat. He broke, and that just won us the game. That's once he's like, all right, that knight is now getting promotion. But again, he was so much fun to play back then. And I was really looking forward to playing this game here against Kenyon. Also, as I said, he's US based, so it's only 3-hour time difference. However, I am before him. So it's great that he was willing to play me at basically 6:30 his time, which was 9:30 my time, which it worked out great for me. So here's my list. I chose A and B. And, feel free, take a look. It totals 4,500 points. I did not put the BSB in the main thing of the army. And again, I was talking with one of my other clubmates about the SmithF Invitational, and I really think I'm going to do something like this just for my club. Not a huge tournament because if people are traveling and stuff like that, but just for my club. I mean, this was such a blast. Here's his list. He's running the Quaddle using Evoke, and he's got this other thing that if he hits with a spell so many inches, get hits with something else. The Soul Weaver is interesting. Grasp of the Immortal, that's very good. Skink Priest is a Skink Priest. Where is it? It's under. So he chose A because we always have to choose A. That's our main brick. And then C. That's Skink Cactus with a Wildfire Burst. Always hits on 3, Strength 4, and I guess removes cover. That's a very unique thing. So looking at his list, I really like this list because it's got the magic, it's got shooting, it's got close combat. Because it came in per brick plus all the skinks with the Cayman. So let's be honest, that's what, 24 strength 6 AP 3 that he's able to put a 5 up or 4 up fortitude on, that have a 4 up armor, and then he can make them res 6 or 7 with because he has got the sun tablet. He can do rerolls to hits or rerolls to wound. He can snipe if he wants to snipe. I got to give him kudos to this list. I mean, if he feels he needs to grow things back, he can take summer growth instead. No, I'm really digging this list, and because he's got the Skink Priest, he can turn around and just depending on what spells. I mean, he can use the Symbiosis and cast his Hereditary. He's gotten just enough shooting to take care of chaff. The Spearbacks are no joke. The Salamanders are a pain in my rear. And then you've got the Pterodons, which is actually a good piece of chaff. So, sorry for not showing deployments. All of a sudden, I got done turn 1. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I need to take a screenshot. So this is, of course, after his movement. It was interesting. He dropped first. He dropped the unit of Spearbacks on the left-hand side first, behind the Impassable, and then said to me, and we're playing Frontline Clash, King of the Hill. I'm defending the ruins. He's defending the water. And I'm like, all right. Those Caimans, I can get in there, but unless I've got a multi-charge going on or it's my big brick, even then my big brick, I still would want or feel I need that charge. Because that's just way too many attacks from that unit. I mean, we're talking 24, 25 attacks in the unit that's going to strike before me, because I've got basically great weapons. Now, granted, great weapons are going to hurt him, but he's striking at agility at the same strength. So it actually goes in his favor at that point, with the exception of my Great Khan that can do D3 wounds. So when I moved up, I was avoiding the terrain on the right. I was trying to use that impassable as a piece of cover. I didn't want his big brick of skinks with the whatever the hell they are, the Caimans in there to charge me. So that's what I'm doing on the left flank. The right flank, just I want to get the rock up on the hill to basically threaten everything. Now, the one thing that I did notice with this is he kept his mage, because I have 2 shots. That's it. I've got 2 ogre crossbows in this entire army. I did not take Swarm of Insects because he's got a 2-up versus range on his Quaddle Lord, but no save in close combat. So he's got his Quaddle Lord just sitting out there. And I'm like, all right, I got this. And during my magic phase, I cast trip. I rolled 4 dice, rolling trip 5s for boosted totemic summons. Hence, the Peg Knight that's out there is actually a totemic summons. So I get that out there. I'm like, all right, we're going to give this a whirl and see what happens. And I'm like, if I do enough wounds, he's bound to roll 1s. Eventually, and try to kill him that way. So he counters me. He chaps up the rock. He's in range of his general, which is also the BSB. And then he's pushing on the one flank and the other. So all in all, he's setting himself up to shoot and countercharge. Let's go next slide. Here, this had to be after magic. He got my trappers down to 1. I was within BSB and general range. So that's it. Between all his shooting and everything else. I'm trying to remember. Eventually he's going to end up shooting that 1 mile to death. So we were checking line of sights and ranges and all this other good jazz. And I really did not have concern on the left flank at this point. However, he does four wounds to my Yetis with the 2 spearbacks. All right, discipline 8. It breaks. All right, I half expected that to happen. So I've got 2 wound remaining on that Yeti. But it ran through the wherever the hell they are, the Tuskers. They panicked because I was literally just out. I didn't bother checking it beforehand because I didn't think it was going to be an issue. I was just outside of BSB range. I rolled an 11. So they fled from the salamanders. So now what should have been my strong flank has become a weak flank. So now I own the middle, and I'm just doing enough pressure on the right to be worthwhile. As I said, he's chaffing. He's going to end up shooting me during his shooting range. He does like 6-7 wounds. During that miscast for the during the miscast for the totemic summons, I actually, as I said, I rolled trip 5s on or trip 6s or something like that. Whatever reason why, I didn't think I used 5 dice. Damn, I think I did that wrong. Or I did trip 6, but I did 2 wounds to myself for whatever reason. Maybe I don't think I did 5 dice, but I did trip 5s, did 2 wounds to myself, and that's that. but I did manage to, and that's it. So during my turn, I issue a charge on the salamanders. I actually take that weaker bruiser brick and throw them into the pterodons. I pass on the reroll. I pass my discipline test on with the rock, so he does not have to go charging in. And if you notice, there's a number 2 on the totemic summons. Here's what happened. He repositioned his one unit of bows and his spearbacks. He's like, all right, I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to shoot the living piss out of this free model I happen to put on the board that's challenging his general. He's got that wildfire bow and everything else, and he just misses. He rolls all 1s and 2s. Doesn't even hit. It always hits on a 3. All right. Rest of the unit with bows fails to hit or fails to wound. The spearbacks only do 2 wounds. So he's sitting there going, oh shit. So again, I charge the spearbacks, I charge the pterodons, and then the free totemic summons is going to go into his general. So this is now how this looks, and I'm going to go ahead and try to cast another totemic summons. Not only do I get, and I was going to use my rock as chaff. I decided not to do that because I felt like I'd be throwing him away, and I could actually just flee. Hence the kitty cat's right there. I could just flee. Discipline 9. It's risky, but odds are I make it, and then I'm able to then counter. That was a failed charge because he fled with the salamanders. Because I have discipline 9. Actually, I rolled low anyway, but I rallied with the Yeti. I rallied with the Tuskers, and I made sure the Tuskers had a majority of their frontage in the ruins. Otherwise, I'm just staying away to the best of my ability and preparing for some counterattacks. So I have the number 5 down there, which is for another totemic summon, and the answer is yes, it goes off, and he failed. So he fails to stop it, and then I rolled hot again, and I managed to put a whatever spell that is, break the spirit on his Cayman. So in this way, I'm like, all right, now you got -1 to hit me. All right, so you're going to have to do the rerolls to hit. You're hitting me on 5s as it is. And his spell selection, you know what? Let's just take a moment just to review spell selection. I did not take Swarm of Insects this turn because I felt that with a 2-up Aegis, it was kind of useless. Although it would have forced his Salon into a unit, really wasn't going to help me. Maybe plucky wounds, but his things can move and shoot without penalty. He took rerolls to hit. He took the Hasten the Hour. Of course, he has his hereditary because of magical heirloom. Did he short himself a spell? You know what? I think he shorted himself a spell because his model has his magical heirloom. He should have 4 spells. Yeah. Damn. I'm sorry, Kenyon. I missed it when you had your spell selection out. That you shorted yourself. And so he had Hasten the Hour. He had whatever other night spell there is, and rerolls to hit, and of course his Spark of Creation. Let's see. Close combat wise, of course the bruisers take short work, and I put 3 wounds onto his Lord BSB. On his Quaddle, he needs a 3 to stick. He rolls it on the reroll. He rolls Snake Eyes, and then he rolls a 3 and is able to reform. So he moves himself away. I think that was a mistake on his part, but that's it. Meanwhile, because I had that extra totemic summon up, I was able to chaff up his spearback, so his spearbacks could not go into my brick. Or not my totemic summons. So first thing he does is he charges with the one big brick of Quaddle or Caimans, charges the Bruisers. Bruisers are like, I want nothing to do with you. Bye. They run. He needs boxcars to get to my Tusker Cavalry. I'm like, bring it. You don't have Swift Stride. It's very low probability. Just go ahead and do it. And he charges with his Skink Captain into the whatever the hell that is, the Totemic Summons. He chooses to charge with his big brick of Skinks with the 4 Cayman, and he chooses not to charge him with the bigger brick of Cayman. I don't know if that was the right move or the wrong move. I really don't. So this is the way everything looks at this point in time. And the reason why he charged in with the just the Skink Captain by itself is he's got, all right, 3 attacks, strength 4, I need to roll 1-5. Well, he's hitting me on 3s. All right, so if you got 3 attacks, that means you got 2 hits. That means 2 out of 3 are going to fail to wound me because I'm res 5, your strength 4. He fails to wound the Totemic Summon. The Totemic Summon becomes the hero for just one day and kills the Quaddle. And it gets even worse for my opponent, unfortunately. So I had some early bad luck with the breaking and things like that. He had some horrible luck. So he rallies his salamanders. He fails to charge, needing boxcars. That's fine. And he chooses not to charge with the 1 unit of Caimans, and the Spearbacks are in. He goes to cast Healing Waters. So first things first is he casts on 2 dice the Ancestral Aid, which I stopped using 3 dice. It was a 9 to 6 in terms of dice spread. Let's see, what's my next pick here? So again, here's this. I've got 2 wounds. Everything's rallied. That's all his. This is his movement. I don't know what he's trying to do. He's trying to he needs to stay within his general range, which was why moving his general back was a mistake. But he is trying to keep his Skinks in the general range and chaff up the Rock. But the Rock's got an obvious target. They're going to go into the flank, and you're not blocking me from getting into the flank of that unit. Which, again, was, in my opinion, a disastrous mistake. So you now see Healing Waters, and I know you can't see it because he moved the Skink Priest out of the unit into the woods, like right behind the Skink Captain. He rolled trip 4s on 3 dice, which is, you forget the spell, but because he only rolled 3 dice, it goes down by 1, which makes it trip 3s. So 2d6 hits, AP 2 at strength 3. It's a res 2 model, but regardless, I rolled it out. I rolled 10, killed the mate, 10 hits, and ended up doing like 5 or 6 wounds. So that kills the mage. So all that for the Healing Waters. As I said previously, his Skink Captain fails to wound the Totemic Summon, which was a free model, and kills his Quaddle Lord. I end up sticking, but I'm able to reform, and he's going to probably kill me soon. So during my turn, and he's like, all right, I just lost all my magic. I'm about ready to call it. Like, I understand, but the fat lady hasn't sung. You still have a good bit on the board. Here, as I said, I had my juicy target. That's going into the flank there. I want the impact hits. I want the stomps. I need to start whittling down that rank. If you notice, he only has 3 instead of 4 Caimans now. That was because of my general. My general ended up doing 4 wounds onto his Caimans. The reason why is, even though I'm hitting him on 3s, however, they have distracting because it's part of their special rule. I'm still hitting him on 4s. I have 5 attacks. I hit 3 times. I wounded twice, or I wounded all 3 times. He saved 1 out of 3, and then I did 4 wounds. It's about average. So that was a Cayman and a half, and I did 1 other wound with the BSB. And the rest are just going into skinks because I needed to deplete the rank bonus, but I still had all the stomps, and I've learned to love Rampager's Chain. So that's how this looks at this point in time. During combat, so during magic, I get +1 resilience. Now I'm res 5 on that unit, and I put break the spirit on his on that skink and caimans. Because I really, really want to make sure I break that unit. He no longer has general BSB, so he's now subject to fear. I want to take him out. I'm moving up. I move the Yeti off just to conserve points. The kitty cat basically does nothing for me. I rally the bruisers back there, and my Tuskers are still playing chicken on that flank. Here's the thing: is if I can break that unit, they're going to flee directly from the bruisers and go straight down into the Cayman. Between the stomps, the impact hits, everything that happened is exactly what ended up happening. And I didn't even bother rolling for the rock. And I'm like, all right, we got to look to see what happens here because it's pivots and how does it pivot because it doesn't fully clear. Does it count as a charge? Not charge. Like, oh my god, that's just messy. However, the fact that I now have a flank on one of his next combat bricks, this is just going to be like Sherman's March to the Sea, and that's it. So so ends up being a Ogre Khan's 20-0. Couple things. I'm going to go back. First off, he's missing a spell. All right, that doesn't fall on me. I didn't even think about it. I didn't even know his list, but he was freeing a spell. He was more concerned about Break the Spirit than Totemic Summons, and to me, Totemic Summon, because he didn't roll all his dice to stop Totemic Summons, that to me is the spell you need to stop, because unless your Quaddle, which is the whole basis of your army, has protection from a Totemic Summons, or when I did summon the Totemic Summons, get him the hell out of Dodge. Say, I'm out of here, bye, and turn around, chaff me up. That was just such a misplay on his part, and it's such a shame because I really, really like this list. I felt he could have been a little bit more aggressive. I think he should have just thrown the skinks to die, chaff me up, and then counter with the Saurian, with the Caimans. And I think that he should have used both sets of spearbacks to go ahead and soften up one of the unit of Tuskers early on, or just picked on the unit of Yetis. A couple different things, and still use it like the Salamanders. I felt he didn't have to engage quite as quickly as he did to let me then chaff him off. Like, he could have backed up, then used the chaff, and then countercharged. So, as it is, 20-0 Ogre Khans. We called it at the bottom of 3. MVPs. It's got to be the Shaman. The Totemic Summons just broke that game wide open. Personally, I hate Totemic Summons playing against them, playing with them. I see why people like it. It's a free model. It's going to get you points. I think he got me a hell of a lot more points than what any spell I could have taken in his place. That's a tough say. That's all I can say. It's a tough say. But the Totemic Summon was for the win. For me, his MVP was definitely the Spearbacks. He broke the Yetis, which broke the Tuskers, which then gave him control of my left flank. But he was unable to capitalize on that. Least valuable players, or least valuable pieces, I should say, it was my Yetis. I mean, they cost me my left flank. Discipline 8, Rain 11, popped through the Tuskers. Tuskers fled because of them. And that's that. And for the Saurians, that's King Captain. If he had actually just hit one time, not had any cover for his spearbacks shooting at that one against that one, what is it? totemic summons. That'd be a different story. Not saying that they would have killed it, but much better chance that they hit it to kill it. And then going into combat, charge, rear, 3 attacks, fails to kill it, and then he loses his general, which is his level 4 Quaddle, and then that's it. His Skink Priest died because he decided to commit Harry Carry. So that's how the game ended. Any questions, concerns? Definitely feel post. If you ever have a chance to play Swampswimmer Kenyon, he's an awesome guy. Can't say enough about him. I'm just going to go back to this list. I like this list. I think it's a different list. I think it's got potential. I may try running that list. It means I have to turn around and paint the living piss out of that army because I do own it. But that's just a lot of fun right there. I mean, this is a good, solid list. All right. So until next time. And you know what? I think he kept. No, he did remember he had poison with that unit. He just. No, I don't even remember if he had poison, which is a shame. Well, until next time, happy gaming.